Stop the recording. Okay, so greetings and salutations, test takers. This is the Series 7 Guru, aka Dean Tenney, coming to you from my studio in a non-disclosed off-grid location. We have a question here about margin, and always the key to margin is knowing the classical margin equation. And the classical margin equation short is the credit register, the cash. And Rebecca, that's where most people get hung up. And so I'm going to show you that. Where does the cash come from? And in a short account, what you owe are securities. You don't owe money. But whether you want to borrow money or borrow securities does not matter. You need a margin account. All short sales must be conducted in a margin account. So the classical margin equation short is going to be credit register minus short market value equals equity. All right, so we got to do our initial setup. So test question, to do a short sale, you have to have a margin account and there is a locate requirement. So I'm not going to be able to sell short 1,000 of shares of SeaWorld unless my broker tells me that I can borrow it. And so that's our first thing. So there's a locate requirement. He says, Dean, we do have a customer who signed the loan consent form and said it would be okay to lend other customers their securities. Very testable. Is that loan consent form mandatory in a margin account? Is the loan consent form mandatory? It's not. Right? Because the customer says, well, I don't think it's in my best interest to help people go short stock that I'm long. And I say it's not. And so that's why it's optional. So I'm going to get 50 grand from selling the borrowed stock. And then remember, Reg T says I have to put up how much money of that. So how much money am I going to have to add to that? I'm going to have to add half, 25,000. That's my Reg T requirement. And so that means I'm going to have $75,000 in cash in this margin account. And that's where most people get hung up. Where did the 75,000 come from? I say, Rebecca, the 75,000 came from 50,000 from selling the stock you don't own, plus the 25,000 you had to put up. You presently owe securities that are valued at 50,000. What you're hoping to do is sell high and buy back low. And you can see here, we're perfectly balanced. We're at 50%. All right, so what do we want the stock to do? Do we want SeaWorld to go up or go down?
Go up.
No. When you sell short, you want the stock to go down, right? You want to sell high and buy low, right? So I've sold short at 50 here. Let's say that one of the orcas takes a chomp on a trainer. Is that good news or bad news if the orcas go nuts and start chomping on trainers? Well, bad news for SeaWorld, but good news for me. And let's say SeaWorld goes to 30. So is Dean happy or sad if SeaWorld goes to 30? I'm happy. And now I'm going to do my mark to market. So we still have $75,000 in our account. We now, if we went into the open market, bought back the borrowed stock, gave it back to the person we borrowed it from, it would only cost us $30,000. And please note, we've made $20,000 thus far by the stock going down. So when you sell short the stock, you want the stock to go down, right? Because that's what it's about. I give back the borrowed stock, I walk with 45, right? I give back the 1,000 shares. It only cost me 30,000 to give back the borrowed stock. Now, remember this from the other day, Rebecca. We always want to see if perhaps we can't loan you more money. And so I'm going to compare your equity to Reg T. Be careful. What I might mean by be careful is here, the short market value is where that's at, right? So that's going to be a different line here. It's going to be 15. And so you have excess equity. You have more than you need. If you'd like, you can sell short additional securities, or you can have some cash. You say, Dean, do I have to do anything today? What's the answer? Do you have to do anything today?
No,
No, I'm going to.
put it into the SMA.
That's right. I'm going to make a special memorandum to your account that on today you had $30,000 more than you needed, and you can have that as cash, or you can use it to sell short additional securities. And you could do twice that in terms of selling short securities. So that's all wonderful. The wrong direction would be the stock goes up. At all times, Rebecca, you would have to have 30% of the market value in equity. So 30% of that is 9. And right now you have no problem. That is called minimum maintenance. Anybody know what it is for long accounts?
25%.
Right on. Right. And then if we want to know how far the SeaWorld could go up, we could take credit by 1.3. And if I do a market that, we got a problem, right? So 75 grand divided by 1.3, $57.70. So if SeaWorld goes above $57.69 a share, I got a problem. That's called market value at maintenance. 57,692. Was that a Kaplan question you had, or?
Yeah, that one was a Kaplan question.
Yeah, so if you have the QID, I'm more than happy to bring that up and show it to you that way as well.
It was 1546980.
Hold on, just let me go get the Kaplan Q bank. What could change the credit register? If you take cash or you sell additional securities, right? So if you have $75,000 there in Rebecca's account, and what would you cause that to change if I send her that 30? So are you sure you want to stop recording? Yes, I am.